All right, what's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Welcome back to our show. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Here we are. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Last week, we talked about what suites and booth renters get wrong and how to fix it. I think that was the title, something like that. So now we want to focus. Now we want to focus on what commission salon owners and commission employees get wrong. I want to talk about that a little bit today and get going, because I don't know that I see it as much, but I do see still people that are like, commission salon bad, booth rent freedom, I'll never go back. And it's not like that in the real world, not in 100% of cases, right? Like at our salon, which we'll talk about what we do at our salon too. Obviously, that's where we draw inspiration from. And it works. And our people, if you ask them, 100% of them will tell you that they're happy. You know how we know? Because we ask them all the time. We ask them questions. You can go back, and one of the episodes is called like what our stylist said when we asked why they stay, something like that. I'll put it in the show notes. I don't remember exactly what episode it is, but the truth is,
I think even one step further, we observe. We pay attention, because you can ask, people can lie all the time, but you can observe your staff. And if you know them well enough, you can tell who's in a good place and who's not, and who needs to have a conversation.
Definitely. I forget what I was going to say there, but that was probably better what you just said. Oh, I remember. I was just going to say every model struggles without the right things in place, and every model will succeed. Like, you can be successful at renting a suite if you do the things that are required to run a successful suite. Same thing with commission. You can be an ultra successful commission salon owner, and you can also wildly be successful, or be wildly successful. Either way, you could be very successful as a commission employee. Like, we have employees that probably make more money than some people that rent out there, because that's the way we structured it. So either way, we always kick off episodes with opening takes. Our opening takes. So do you have one? Do you want to go?
You can go first. I'm collecting my thoughts.
All right.
Surprise, surprise.
So my opening take is to always be ready to let inspiration in. Always be open to being inspired. And a lot of people will look at the way they've always done it, and they get very sort of shut down, right? They put their head in the sand, and they're just like, this is the way we do it. And even when it's not working, they still continue to do the same things over and over again. And, well, we've seen it. People start blaming other people. You start blaming your staff. You start blaming the younger generation. You start blaming all these things except for yourself. And it's because you're not allowing yourself to be inspired, which is not going to allow you to then innovate, make changes in your business, and progress. And so, real quick, I lost where it was. I had it in my notes, the breakdown. But so there was a guy who was trying to create instant ramen. All right, back in everybody knows instant ramen, super popular, cheap food, delicious, satisfying, all this stuff.
Not my favorite, but yes.
Well, you don't like ramen, so you're not going to like it.
I like ramen when you make it.
All right. Well, that's a different. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Everyone else in the world knows and respects ramen except for Jen. All right.
Correct.
So the story is, as much as I can remember, is that the guy that was creating the ramen failed. He kept failing and failing and failing. And he knew he wanted to provide like a cheap product that people could enjoy, and that was instant. And then one day he was watching his wife, and she was frying up some tempura vegetables in whatever. 99% sure that's what it was, tempura. So she's frying these vegetables, and because he was open to inspiration, it clicked in his head that if he fried the noodles, that would produce the desired outcome for the ramen. So that's why they're super crispy. And he was, I think before, he was trying to package fresh stuff or fresh noodles, or he was just drying the noodles or whatever. But by frying them, it created this texture and these tiny holes in the noodles that then when rehydrated was almost instant. I mean, it's 3 minutes, and
That's pretty
that had the
quick.
right texture. So there's your lesson. Instant ramen.
Try some. I don't even think I've ever had it, actually.
But you don't like it.
Nah, kids eat it. They can have it. Nothing against ramen. Just only eat Todd's.
I'm not anti-ramen.
I'm a food snob. In case you didn't know. Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
I have two,
The
I
world is
think.
waiting.
I'm sure they're waiting. They're just like, what is Jen gonna say? Okay, to off your inspiration, I think it's really, really important, especially for the people listening that are feeling super uninspired or I'll say complacent. You're just kind of doing the day to day, not really excited about getting up, getting to work, and all that. I think there's something to be said about surrounding yourself with people that are trying to achieve more than you. So it's really easy to surround yourself with people that are all in your same bracket, or all miserable, or all like, my job sucks. I don't really love it. I'm not going anywhere, and you all just find some camaraderie within that. And that's a very dangerous place to be, because growth only
The echo
happens
chamber.
when you are
The
who?
echo chamber.
Oh, I thought you said, yeah, Coach Amy. I was like, who's Amy?
No.
That only happens truly like when you start to surround yourself by people who want more than you, who maybe are even doing better than you. That will help push you to the next level. So, my I guess my advice here is check your circle. Like, are you surrounding yourself by people that are just bitching and complaining every single day and never really getting anywhere or coming up with a solution? I'm all about, when there's a situation, like, be salty, feel what you got to feel, but what's the solution? How are you getting out of it? And sometimes that means broadening your circle and putting some people that are around you, whether it's a mentor or someone in a leadership, or someone that's outside of your industry that's just doing things you think are cool, and kind of having a conversation to open your mind to maybe a different way to think about your career, your job, your day to day, and get yourself out of feeling complacent or just feeling uninspired. My part two to that is taking care of yourself. I have talked about this in every salon I've owned, all generations of hair pros, from ones that have been doing hair now 10 years to the newbies that we have in our salon. And the one thing, I'm pretty sure I say it every time I'm in the salon, is the take care of yourself, meaning you need to drink water, you need to pack your food, you need to pack your snacks, you need to move your body more than just working behind the chair. If you're, again, feeling uninspired, feeling like, I don't really feel like going to work, I'm not really feeling like I want to do anything right now, a lot of times it's you, it's your diet, it's the way you're taking care of yourself, or I should say the way you're not taking care of yourself. You are the fuel for your day-to-day life, and that doesn't mean takeout and all that stuff. Like, you've got to make sure you're eating well, moving your body, drinking your water. And once you start doing that stuff, you will notice, I would say within 24 hours, that you feel so much better, have more energy, and are more inspired now to do different things and open your mind, like Todd said, to maybe new ideas.
Good stuff, Jen.
Thanks, Coach Amy. I don't know why I thought you said that.
Are you saying Jamie or Amy?
Amy. I thought you called me Coach Amy. Like, there's a coach out there named Amy that talks like that. I was like, I have no idea what you're
No,
talking
I don't
about.
think so. I'm sure there
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway.
let's dive into what commission salon owners and commission employees get wrong. And the first one, I'm just going to dive in with my number one thing that I think it is. They think it's about the hair. It isn't. So, for example, you likely own a salon because you like doing hair. And you thought,
Yeah.
I should have a hair salon, or I should have a barbershop because I'm good at hair. The truth is, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle big time. You didn't acquire any business skills. And business,
Doing good hair does not make you a business
right,
owner.
and vice versa. And
Mm-hmm.
how I explain this to people all the time, because I've had people that are like, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, go to a business school, ask for their top graduate, the person that's most likely to succeed in business, hand them a comb and a pair of scissors, and ask them to do hair. It seems ridiculous. So I don't know why people think that just being good at hair translates to a completely different skill set that has nothing to do with the other. The hair is what's expected from your business. That's what your clients are going to see. That's the prerequisite. You have to be able to provide the services, or you have to be able to have and run a team that provides the
Mm-hmm.
services. Those things they don't carry over.
Right.
So because you can do a crazy fade doesn't mean you can balance your books. Because you can do an insane lived in balayage doesn't mean that you can figure out your taxes. It doesn't mean that you have a clue of how to market or how to get clients
Mm-hmm.
in front of your staff. And how do we know? Because these questions come up again and again and again. And when we talk to people or we're at events or we host an event, there's always somebody that pulls one of us aside, both of us aside, reaches out through email that says, how do you get clients? How do you get employees? How do you do these things?
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing it over and over and over again. If you go into any Facebook group, it's the same several questions over and over again. What software do you use? How do you get clients? How do you get staff? It's the same things over and over again.
How do you know how to pay your commission rate? How do you know how to pay your staff? It's all the
Yeah.
same.
So what you need is to focus on business if you want to run a business, and you need to look at it through an entrepreneurial lens. And I just typed this in one of the groups this morning, actually, Jen. And what I said was, you have to realize, and this is where things changed for me wildly in business. And it happened at the end of my last business. It wasn't in this one. It was when I owned a gym and when I realized that it wasn't about being the best coach. Do you know how many certificates I had? Do you know how many freaking classes I took? Do you know how much education? I guarantee you that I had more education than the majority of hair people out there. I had a whole ass wall filled of certificates, thinking if I just get better at weightlifting, I'll gain clients. If I get better at teaching kettlebells, I'll get clients. If I get better at rowing, I'll get clients. If I get better at teaching mobility, I'll get clients. It doesn't work that way. So by just accumulating that stuff, you're not helping your business. So what you have to do is realize that being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, the skill set that you really need is problem solving. You have to solve problems as they come up, one at a time, over and over
Mm-hmm.
for your entire freaking career. It's never going to end.
Mm-hmm.
People will say,
But this
when
is,
does it get easier? Never,
it doesn't.
never. Because,
It's a daily
because,
thing. And it's going to be a curveball after
because if
curveball.
you push yourself and challenge yourself, your problems are going to get larger. They're going to scale with you. And your ability to improve or get as far as you can get in business will come when your ability to solve larger challenges improves,
Mm-hmm.
not when you learn a new foiling technique. That's not
And
helping your
here's the
business
thing,
at all.
if you're a business owner and that's where your mindset is, let's just say this, and it's like, I want to take all the classes, I just want to be great at doing hair, you might just want to be a hairdresser. You might not want to be a business owner if you haven't thought about that. Because if your main focus is on you getting yourself better technically and not better in the business side, then maybe you should reevaluate. And being a hairdresser or being a barber is just, that's the best thing for you. And that's where you'll be the most successful. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you need a permission, or maybe you needed someone to tell you that.
Yeah, you can be more successful as an employee than a lot of owners out there. You know why? Because you'll likely make money.
Mm-hmm.
50% from everything that I've read recently, 50% of hair salons, barbershops either break even, which is pointless, or lose money, which is wild.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they continue doing the same things. I take
Right.
education. I don't know what's going on. It's not about the education unless you're taking a
Right.
business class.
Right.
And
And good luck finding a good one, because that's hard to find too.
yes, correct. And I'm going to give you a pro tip right now. Don't fall for all the coaching that's out there. I'm
Mm.
sorry. It needs to be said. Every single
Yep.
post that I go on Facebook is, hey, I'm trying to figure out this. And then you get 27 people that are like, that's why I created the salon calculator. That's why I created this. And they're not even coming from a place of truly helping, because there needs to be a lot more questions answered first. Like, what are you trying to accomplish with your business? Where do you see your business? What's your vision? What are your core values? What do you want to get out of this thing? Those need to be the first questions, not sign up for this class, because if you do, you'll just be successful. Like, no, you have to put the work in too. It's
Yeah.
like
And it's a lot of
it's like
work.
reading books. I used to read so many business books. Guess what? Only until I started actually applying things from those business books, did we find any forward progress at all? You got to separate those two things. If you want to be good at business, you're going to have to learn and practice business. And you're going to have to do things like solve a problem, document it, which is creating a system, or else you're going to be solving the same problem over and over again. I don't know why my staff doesn't just get it. Well, what does your handbook look like? Well, it's just understood that we do this. Well, that's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's your problem right there, because it's not understood. If it was understood, you wouldn't have to solve the problem over and over.
Right. Right.
So create systems, document it, sit back, reflect, measure. Is it an actual improvement or not? A lot of people want to run deals. How do I get clients in? You should offer a discount. Now, I can't stand discounts because your business needs to make money. So you're going to sell your services for less money. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, we've done episodes on that. I'm sure we'll do them again. But either way, okay, cool. You want to run a discount? Go ahead. How did it impact your business? Well, I don't know. Well, what did you measure?
Right.
How many people came in because of that discount? How many rebooked? How many rebooked at your full price? What do those things look like? If you're not getting metrics, you're not going to understand your business.
And that you have to do with everything.
Yeah. Hey,
it's not just this one thing. You're like, oh, I want to discount, keep track of the metrics. Everything you do, every person you hire, every single thing you implement, you have to make sure you're checking and balancing to make sure it's still working and working in the way that you intended to when you put it in place.
What about cleaning, Jen? Well, I put up a cleaning list.
Yeah.
I don't know why nobody's doing it. Have you asked them? Hey, how come you're not doing this? Instead of just going on a Facebook group and being like, the younger generation is so entitled. No, they're not.
Yeah, maybe it's as simple as just switching how you do it or the order you do it in, or maybe some people need help. I remember we had a staff member. She was so proud. She cleaned the bathroom so good. She's like, that bathroom I cleaned that so well. I went in there and I'm like, couldn't even tell she cleaned. I'm like, wow, this girl's like level of what she thinks is great cleaning and what I do are very different. So, hey, let's have a conversation. Show me what you did so I can help it get better.
Yeah, you have to define things. You have to define roles and tasks. You have to define what you want done and what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because
people can't read your mind.
No, it's not common sense. And every business has this that's successful. There aren't businesses out there flying by the seat of their pants, just being like, oh, we'll just figure it out as we go. Not for long, at least. And again, long can be relative. You can luck out for 5 to 10 years. And then all of a sudden you're like, this was working. I don't know why it's not working. Okay. Well, show me what you tracked. Show me what you measured. Well, we didn't. Okay. Then we are starting from square one.
Just winging it.
Yeah. Maybe you have to break down. Yeah, I don't know. But you have to break down everything in your business and you have to make it easy for people. And it really, really helps if they understand the why. And it might be simple as adding repercussions. Because a lot of businesses are like, what would you do if your staff refused to do this? I don't know. What did your handbook say that you do? If you don't have repercussions, then people aren't going to do the things.
Mm-hmm. Also, if someone's refusing to do something, they don't buy into anything you're doing or understand at all why you're creating certain things. And first thing is that maybe they're not a good fit. I don't know why we try to hang on to people longer than they really want to be there.
Because how do you get staff?
Yeah, well, then there's that problem. Got to work on that too, so that you're not in that situation.
Let's talk quickly about, I don't know why I said quickly, leadership.
Sure, I can talk real
leadership
fast.
Versus entitlement. So what are owners getting wrong and what are employees getting wrong?
Owners blame everything on the employees or the business or everything else but themselves. And that's really the biggest issue.
Yeah, that's what I had as number one, acting like a boss, not a leader.
Yeah.
So, and if you're not going to...
We know lots of people that are like, I just want to own a business. I just want to put owner on my business card. Yeah, that's not the reason why you should have a business.
Not at all.
You could just print any business card and put owner on it, whether it's true or not. No one cares.
Owners out there too, they want loyalty for some reason before they're investing in people.
Mm-hmm.
They just assume that I'm going to come into your salon as a new hair pro. I just finished school and I'm just going to be loyal to you just because you said so, or just because you're the boss. That's a mistake.
Yeah, your actions are what are going to create the loyalty, the culture, all of the things in your business. So not what you say, it's what you do. So you might need to reevaluate what are the doing things that you are not doing And what are the doing things, that's not even a thing, but whatever, that you are doing that might be creating a culture that you don't want, and you don't even realize your own bad habits. No matter how old or young your staff is, if you are the leader of that staff, you are being looked up to. Whether it's good or bad, people are looking at you. They're looking at you to lead, and they're generally going to follow the things that you do. It's just like when you have children. You can tell your kids all day not to do something. And if you're doing the opposite, like they're like, well, wait a minute, if you're doing it, why can't I? And you're going to be, oh, because I'm the adult. At some point, you have to find a way to lead whatever it is that you're trying to lead in a way that you want them to follow the steps that you're taking.
People will also set like all these rules, Jen, but they don't. They aren't building like a standard. This is again, this is talking about owners and what owners are doing wrong. So an owner will say something like, "You have to do this." Okay. Again, why? When we set our rules, I'll just say rules at Hello, we laid out these are the standards for each rule.
Mm-hmm.
These are what we expect. So there's a minimum expectation that comes with. Now, we want people that go above and beyond. That's hospitality. That's where people are going to find real success. So, for example, we have an expectation, a standard for consultations. They need to be thorough. And we define this with our staff. What does thorough mean? You can't just say your consultation should be thorough. As an owner, again, that's a mistake. So you have to sit people down and say, this is what we mean when we say that. We have people that go above and beyond our standard, and they are successful, and they get complimented all the time. And we get complimented all the time on how great their consultations are. For example, another one might be your shampoo service. There needs to be an expectation. Give a good massage. Give a good scalp massage is not a standard.
No.
It needs to be defined. Well, what is a good scalp massage?
Yes.
Write that stuff down, document it.
And show. You're going to need to show. Yeah, you have to show them what that is.
Yeah, you have to train your team on it.
And then you need them to show you that they know what that is. Yes, this takes time.
Your standards are super important. And the other thing, too, is what you allow to happen in your business. That's what you're accepting. So when you see something in your business, waivers for fantasy football are in. When you see something in your business and you let it slide, that becomes the expectation now. That becomes the standard. I'll give you an example. So, and this one was awkward for me because we had clients and there was no way for me to correct it. But next time at the meeting, I have a note, so I'll bring it up. One of our hair pros dropped something on the floor. It was a clip. I happened to be walking by. I watched that person take their foot and slide it under the chair. That's not a standard that we accept. So I went over as a reminder to them and I picked it up. I didn't call them out. I would never call somebody out in front of a client. I just picked it up and put it on the station because there wasn't a to be disinfected bucket where there needs to be a disinfected bucket, or I wouldn't have put it on the station. And then the person was like, thank you. Now, I don't know if they're just saying thank you because of whatever, or thank you for the reminder. I should have picked that up. But again, we'll have a conversation about that. And it's not a huge deal. It's not a deal breaker. It's not like whatever, but that's because we're going to have a conversation. That's on me to lead them. Now, if I let them do that over and over and over and over, and we never have a conversation, now I'm setting that as the standard. If you drop shit on the floor, Todd will pick it up for you. That's not the that's not the standard. I'm picking it up for us, for the business, for Hello, because we don't want stuff on the floor. So again, that's just one example there. What do employees get wrong when it comes to entitlement?
I think employees think they should be able to just show up and have everything done for them.
You always say this, Jen, and I was hoping you'd say it too, but we have a lot of freedom at Hello, freedom with responsibility. Again, if you can't meet the standard, you can't have the freedom. And Jen says that all the time. If you go back and listen to podcasts, she might say that almost every other podcast, but we offer freedom with responsibility because we have our expectations, we have our playbook. And if you can play within those rules, then you can have all the freedom in the world.
And there are people that can't, and they're no longer on the team. We have 3 small children. I have no problem raising 3 small children. But in our salon, I'm not looking at our staff as small children, right? So there's an expectation that they can come in, they can manage themselves, they can do the day to day, they know what's expected because we go over it. And then that allows them, which they all love, that freedom with responsibility. And it also allows them to be creative as a stylist. Like that's their job. They shouldn't have to worry about in a commission salon ordering products, grabbing this, doing that. Everything is there provided for them. So we can give them the best environment to do the hair. That's the part that's expected. And then we want to go above and beyond. If we don't go above and beyond for the staff, then how can we expect them to go above and beyond for the client? It's just like how that cycle works for us.
Yeah. And I guess people want autonomy before they earned it was another note I had, but it goes along. And that's almost the same thing. People want to be sort of left alone to do their thing. And we, for the most part, like I said, like when something comes up, we'll have a conversation. It doesn't need to be the end of the world. But you have to earn
Yeah,
that.
we just have conversations and they're just direct because we're treating our staff like adults. And that's what has to happen.
Well, and the other thing is on the flip side, we care. Like we want them to be successful. I want our staff to be more successful than we are.
Right.
And if we can build that, that's crazy. Especially because commission salon bad. Like it's not. It's about what you're building out of it. I think too, employees will often mistake coaching for criticism. And this one goes to the owner and your delivery too. But again, it's those conversations. It's like, hey, I saw you do this. We don't do that here. How come you did that? Let me understand. Like, what aren't you getting? Did we not explain it? Did we not have a system that you understood? Did we not make it simple enough? For example, at Hello, our cleaning is very simplified, but it's extremely thorough. We've had the state come in several times and say, this is one of the cleanest salons we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And we're proud of that, but it's because we built that system into it. We baked it into the culture of the salon.
Yeah, it's not even a thought. It's just
no, because
done.
we've made it so simple. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. You're done. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Let's touch on communication. So what are owners doing wrong? This is stuff all sort of blends together. But I had avoiding hard conversations until it's too late. That's where you're letting stuff build up and build up. You can't do that. You have to get good at, and the fix for that is to just do it. Just have the conversation.
Yeah, and these are on, I mean, we just went through some stuff, but these are on all different levels. Like I say it to our staff all the time, and I use the analogy of like, I use the boyfriend analogy, right? You and your boyfriend aren't going to break up over someone not taking out the trash. You may be the caveat that drove you to say we're breaking up, but it was all the things that led up to that day of not taking out the trash that you just lost your mind because you didn't have a bunch of conversation leading up to the day the trash wasn't taken out. These conversations are not easy. They develop over time. I've read I've read a bunch of books on having hard conversations to get better at it. Every time I have one, I do get better at it and I realize how to maybe deliver differently or say things differently. We go into hard conversations, even just making sure staff's all getting along. I kind of have like the 1-2 rule-ish. Like someone may come to me and be like, hey, so-and-so's not getting along. So I'm like, okay, they're adults. Can they handle it? Sort of let it go. If someone else says something, all right, now I'm just like, hey, are you guys good or do you need help? We're good. And then if I hear it one more time, like, okay, it's like, I'm going to clap my hands, like clap, clearly we're going to have a conversation. Because at the same point, if we don't make sure all the staff they don't have to like each other, whatever, but they have to be respectful and they have to be professional, right? And so it's our job to drive that conversation for them too. They are young. They are the next generation. So conversations are hard for them. So they might need us to just help them be like, what's going on? Let's get through this, because we also don't want staff quitting because, again, they're not getting along with certain people and they don't understand what's going on and they're blaming it on Hello. So there's so many different conversations that come up, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly. Some are building relationships, some are technical, some are how they handle themselves professionally, but they are happening all the time. And because they happen all the time, they're not taken like as devastating as someone else might if you're never doing it. Our staff will say all the time, we have a podcast, and one of them was like, they said thank you for being direct, because now they can just move on, get over it, learn from it.
For sure. I was looking ahead because I had something that you just said. Oh, gossiping instead of problem solving for employees. That's something that you get wrong. So when you are an employee of any business, really, if you have an issue, you've got to solve that problem. You got to figure out how to solve that problem. And it might be going to the level above you. It might be going to whoever manages your salon or whoever owns your salon or whatever your reporting line looks like. You might need to go to that person and said, hey, I need help with this. If you can't go to the problem directly, which you should be able to do, you should try. Like, hey, I don't think we're seeing eye to eye, and I'm not sure why. I feel like this, but I feel like you feel like this. Am I right or wrong?
Mhm.
Because that's the vibe I'm picking up. And then 90% of the time, the person's going to be like, oh, because they're thinking the same thing you're thinking.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
everybody ultimately wants to get along. You're
Yeah.
always going to have people that you don't click with. But again, like Jen said, she says you don't have to like people. It's helpful if you like people. You don't have to be friends and hang
Absolutely.
out outside of work. I've never had jobs where I've like really hung out, I guess restaurant business, but that was different. It was like hanging out at the end
Yeah.
of your shift and then you go home.
Yeah.
You know, I had mind reading too. So employees
Mhm.
will think that their bosses or the owners of their salon or manager or whatever just know everything. They don't. We don't.
No.
Sometimes you're going to have to share
Nor do
stuff.
they need to.
Right. I honestly don't care. I mean, I
No.
care. You know what I mean by that.
Yeah, for the owners, you just need to have a team in place. We say this all the time. Like, we have an accountant, we have a lawyer, we have someone at the bank that we use, we have someone of small business that we can go to. We have a team of people that support what we're doing so that we don't have to use the bandwidth on things that we're not good at.
For sure. I think transparency is a big one too. So, as far as commission owners out there, when you have vague goals and vague metrics and this sort of thing, and you're not showing your team real growth opportunities based on
Mm,
whatever you want it based on, whether it's KPIs or what your rebooking percentage or your retail sales, whatever it might look like for your salon, then you're doing yourself a disservice because you're doing your staff a disservice. Because they don't
right,
really know what to expect. If they don't know how they're getting paid, we've talked to how many people have we talked to? They don't even understand how they're getting paid.
right. That's insane.
Yeah. On the employee side, not understanding how a business works is going to hurt you because you're going to start thinking things like, well, the owner's getting rich. The owner's keeping 60%. The owner's, how many times have you heard this one, Jen? The owner's taking 50%.
Right.
Nope. A commission salon owner
No.
is paying you. It's their name on the front of the check. They're the
Mhm.
one that's driving.
And it's their job to go over how that all works, right? I pay you this. This is also what I'm covering. This is what else we're doing. We're very transparent of where every dollar goes in our
Even
business.
to the point of taking or stealing from corporate companies where we have I just actually redid this recently, but a compensation package. It's
Mhm.
not just about it because so many people, employee or commission salon owners and employees get this wrong, where they go in and they think the most important number is the percent. What's a percentage split
Right.
look like? Well, I don't even like that term because it's not a split. One person is responsible for driving the business, the other is responsible for executing and delivering services and being paid for said services. So
Mhm.
it's not a split, you're not equals. But if you create a compensation package which goes beyond your commission, where it's like, okay, this is your commission is say 40%, but it's really 52%. After I break down,
Mhm.
I'm covering your taxes, I'm covering whatever insurance. A lot of salons or some salons offer retirement plans, your vacation week or 2 weeks a year, all the times that we pay for your education, the times that we
Mhm.
do this, the times that we do that, all of that stuff gets added into your compensation package. And all of a sudden, it's a little more enticing. So if
Right.
you don't have that as an owner, you're doing yourself a
You need to.
disservice. Yeah, you need to. Because
Mhm.
people will see the 40, 45, 50, 80%. They don't care. I
That's all they
No,
see.
and
Yeah.
because you're making that the commodity, that's what people think. And so now they don't understand how your business works. So for example, at our business, we run everything at a flat commission rate. You get price increases and that's what gets you more
That's your
money. That's
raise.
your raise. That's where it
Mhm.
comes from. And that protects the business because what happens if I start doing raises by commission and I go what, 50, 55, 60, 75? Jen can testify to this. I had a meeting with a staff member once, not at the
Mhm.
salon, and they asked if they could have 100%. They clearly are insane and don't know how any business runs or anything like that. And I said, why do you, instead of laugh, which is what I wanted to do, but instead of laugh, I tried to come from a place of understanding. So, why do you feel you deserve 100%? And this person said, well, I paid for my school. And I was like, well, everybody paid for their school. And then they said, well, I paid for my tools and those are expensive. And I said, well, everybody here's paid for their tools. And they were like, but I'm focusing on this. Okay. But if I give you 100%, where's the money to turn on the lights? Where's the money to market to get you new clients? Where's the money to pay your taxes?
Right.
Now the business is losing money. The business is paying so that you can have a job. And they were frustrated, but they understood a little bit after that of how insane they sounded. Sorry, it's true. And we talk the truth here on this podcast. Here's a big one. Owners get wrong. Hiring for skill and not the fit. You have to hire for your culture. If somebody comes in and they don't buy into your salon culture, meaning your business values, your core values, rather, your business plan.
It's going to be more of a frustration than it's worth.
And how many times have you seen or heard or even been in the position, Jen, where you're like, this person has to go, but they're our top earner?
Oh, yeah. My last salon often.
And that's because you're allowing the culture to sort of be controlled by other people.
Yeah, it's not good. I've even, when we were opening Hello or during like the first couple of years, I remember we had a kind of just a transition trying to hire. We needed more people basically. And I had done a bunch of interviews and during one, I was getting really frustrated. It just wasn't a vibe. We ended up hiring the person. They didn't last long. This is where I was learning as a leader how to get better at hiring. And I remember that. And then I had someone else that we had done an interview, and I think the technical interview, and generally at that point you're hired. And I remember Todd asking me, like, do you have a schedule for this person? And I had been dragging my feet on a schedule. And at that point I was like, I don't want to work with this person. Like, I know we did X, Y, and Z, and I feel really bad, but I'm like, they are so not a good fit. And from there, because there's always something to be learned in these situations, right? I learned a little bit more how to follow my gut, my intuition, how to do a better interview process, and how to make sure when they get to that technical interview that there's been enough legwork ahead of that they're on the team. And we just, at that point, that wasn't a strong suit for me and has grown since then.
Yeah, we don't even, I don't mean to correct you, but I think you just said technical interview. We don't even do that.
The technical part, so, whatever you call it.
So the person, when they're doing their technical work, their model, their first whatever, is already hired. And then generally what we do at Hello is, because we have a plan for everything, is, and we're not perfect. I'm sure something's going to come up tomorrow that we don't have a plan for because we're talking about this stuff. That's just how the universe works, right? Which is fine. We'll solve that problem because that's our role. But so when we hire a person, we hire them and then they do the technical sort of part. And that's so that Jen can establish an education plan for them. And so maybe that's something simple you can do for people too. And excuse me, instead of looking for this person's really good at hair. Again, that doesn't mean they're really good at anything else. It doesn't mean.
And are you sure? Because I remember certain people coming from different salons being like, they must be good at hair because I know the background of this person, whatever, and they weren't. And so I think sometimes you might be, I don't know, looking at their Instagram thinking they're doing the things that they really aren't doing. Like, are you actually sure they're as good as they say they are? And that needs to be, I guess there needs to be a metric for that. What actually are you looking for?
For sure. And so employees, Jen, this is one you could talk about for hours, but we'll wrap up on this. Employees, as far as values and culture, why are you staying at the wrong salon? You know it's not a good fit, but you stay there because it's comfortable being uncomfortable. It's comfortable going in every day and begging for your job.
Yeah.
How many people have we talked to that are like being held back? They're being told after 2 years that they're ready to get into the assistant program. I heard that. I talked to a girl that said, I thought I was assisting. 2 years passed, or a year and a half, whatever it was, something wild like that, either way. And the owner said, hey, you've been doing great. You're ready to become an assistant now. And she was like, what? What have I been doing?
Yeah.
That's because the leadership sucks and nothing was defined. Now that's on that person to leave, though.
Yeah.
That's on them. The last thing, Jen, I have is that employees want this amazing culture, don't want to contribute anything to it, though.
Yes. You can have your cake and eat it too. You've got to put in some effort for sure. It does go both ways, which I have one thing I want to point out, and this goes off that. I want to say the other thing is marketing. So I hear so many times, or I see it from the owner advertising for a salon, like, you must be active on Instagram, you must be posting on
Why?
Instagram. Hold on. Cool. If that's who you're trying to attract, someone active on Instagram, then I challenge you, what are you doing to market the business so that that person, when they work for you, who's active on Instagram, how are you making sure that your marketing promotes them? Because again, if we're asking, like you said, employees don't want to do much, but if you're showing them what you're doing to help what they're doing and it builds a relationship, that's where the magic happens. But more often, same thing on the owners, they're just expecting that your marketing on Instagram becomes now their marketing. That's not the same thing at all. We talk about marketing all the time with our staff. We talk about how much we invest in it. We talk about all the things that we do while they're sleeping, that if then they want to use any social media platform, that they're going to elevate their game just because of the work we do. But if you're not doing any work as the owner, but you're expecting your staff to be the marketer, that makes no sense. It's, again, there's no working relationship there.
Let's quickly take it a step further. So you find somebody that is active on social media and gets 500 likes on all their posts. So you think, I'm going to be famous because this person gets likes on their post. What metrics are you using to measure anything? How many clients, paying clients, did that person get from that post? Or did they just get a bunch of hair people that liked their post? Who cares about social media? It isn't real. I think it's great. I think it's a great way to show off your skills. I think it's a great way to communicate your values. I think it's a great way to communicate to potential clients, to potential staff, to potential renters, whatever you're talking about. I think it's a great way to have fun. But I don't necessarily think it's the best way to grow your business is to rely on somebody else's likes on their page. Or I've seen this one a lot, Jen. I require people on their social media to tag the salon. What madness are you living in?
Yeah. Honestly, they should want to, but if they don't, they don't. So
yeah, I think the majority of our staff that is active on, because we have people that don't post on social media, they're still making money. They still booking clients. They're still retaining clients. They're still having fun. They don't care about social media. So it is possible. Anything else, Jen?
Nope, that was my one on my list.
Yeah, the marketing thing, I think being transparent is a huge one. Showing people growth opportunities. If you don't show people how they can grow in your business, they're going to leave.
Yeah, of course. And they should.
And I think the biggest one is what's the point? And I think the biggest one is what we started with, which is just, I just lost my train of thought completely.
I was like, do tell.
So the biggest one that we started with is simply identifying that running a business and doing hair is two different things. Delivering the service and running the day-to-day operations of a business are two wildly, vastly different skill sets. They don't have any crossover at all. I do see a lot of people make mistake too, where they're like, I need an accountant that does hair or that understands hair, because they don't. A regular accountant won't understand our business. Yeah, they will. Our accountant can't formulate.
Our accountant doesn't even have any hair.
He doesn't. But I'll tell you what, when it comes time to tax season, he kicks ass for us.
He is the man.
When it comes time to sitting down with him and looking at the numbers and reflecting and going, how can we scale this? How can we grow this? How can we grow by 20%, 30% next year? He's the man. And he doesn't know how to formulate, doesn't know how to section hair. Doesn't need to. It's irrelevant.
Just needs to know numbers.
Exactly. All right, people, get on our newsletter list. Reach out if you want. You can hit the send us a message button, or you can email. Email is probably best because I like to go back and forth. And yeah, that's it. So we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a
Bye,
great
everyone.
day.